I'm so sorry, but this was just, I knew I kept this for a reason. This was just so much fun. Yeah, I'm Mace Windu, bitches. Hey guys, I'm Torchwood Boy, and welcome to my Star Wars The Last Jedi review. I fucking loved this movie. I'm gonna get off to a start. I know some people don't seem to like it because it's a bit new and it's a bit out there and it does some things that they might not like. And I too have problems with this movie. It is not a perfect movie, but it's enjoyable. It's fun. I would consider myself, on a die-hard scale of being a Star Wars fan, I would consider myself like, if one's like a casual viewer and 10's like EU, lore, everything, history, KOTOR, everything, I would put myself about a 7 or an 8. So, for me, we'll get through the negatives first, shall we? My biggest negative is Luke Skywalker. Which is strange for me, because I loved the character in this film. But it was so different to who Luke was in the first 3 films. And I get that he's seen all this horror and he's seen all this pain, but I don't think even that's, you know, too much for me. I think I can understand that. What got me was the bit where he held the lightsaber over Kylo's like body, and he was thinking about it, and he said it was a moment of pure instinct, but I just don't see that in Luke. But maybe as he grew, he got more, you know, as a darker sort of, I don't know, I just don't see it. I don't see it, and I fail to understand it. Another plot point that I felt regarding that we could have done without was the casino. It was fun, it was nice, and it was a great little tie-in at the end with that kid using the Force to grab that broom. But I could have done without it, to be honest. It didn't really add anything apart from a bit more Finn and Rose interaction, which we could have got just if they'd been trying to infiltrate different ways of trying to infiltrate the Dreadnought. Or no, there wasn't the Dreadnought. It was Snoke's ship, was it? I can't remember what it was called. But yeah. So, I feel like we could have done without that. I was only wearing this because I thought, but I'm actually quite comfy now. So I thought, you know, that bit was nice, it was cool, but I could have done without it. And, again, Captain Phasma. What the fuck? I'd love it if she just came back. If each movie, like, they do like 12 more, and each movie Captain Phasma dies, then just comes back and she's like, fuck it, I don't die, I'm like Kenny. She's Captain Phasma is the Kenny of Star Wars, sorry. She's just like, oh hey, where's Captain Phasma? Where have you been? Oh, I was just over there in the corner. Like, she just keeps dying and keeps coming back. That'd be so much fun. Although I'm sure lots of people will be up in arms, but still, I really wanted to like take off a helmet and just be like, but we saw her eye, but I really wanted it. But I don't think we're ever going to get that, which is sad. It felt like a little bit of a waste of the character to me, but at least they gave her more stuff to do than getting stuck in the trash compactor like last time. But seriously, if she comes back in the next film, that would be fucking amazing. She just keeps coming back. I'm sure some people wouldn't like it, but I, for one, would recognise the fun in that. Just to keep coming back every single time, it'd be great. Is there anything else I didn't like about it? I'm just trying to think, because I didn't write things down. Right, let's talk about Snoke. Yes, let's get on to this. Then we're going to talk about Leia. And a scene that has divided the fans. I am on the loving it scene, but some people don't like it. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. Snoke. I bet so many people were angry about what happened to Snoke in this movie. I, for one, with most of the theatre, laughed my fucking ass off at it. What's your Snoke theories? What are they? Oh, he's going to be this guy. Oh, he's going to be... Nope. Just got chopped in half straight away. Straight down the middle. This isn't about Snoke. It doesn't matter who Snoke is. And part of me that really pisses me off a little bit, actually. The more I think about it, the more it pisses me off. Because I was like, you built this character up and then we don't get any resolve. But the other part of me just sees the humour of it, of like, maybe this was just a Force-sensitive being who saw his opportunity to take charge. He wasn't particularly, you know, he was certainly powerful, but he wasn't particularly, there wasn't any meaning to him. You know, he just wanted to rule the galaxy. He saw Emperor Palpatine as maybe like some kind of I don't know, it's very unanswered. Maybe we'll get answers to who he was, but for now I feel like Snoke was very much just a character like to lead us into the Kylo taking over and everything. I love like General Hux like, you dare give me orders, and kind of like strangles him. He's like, yes, I obey you. So that was funny. Admiral, actually, he was funny throughout the entire thing. Hux was actually, he was brilliant. Like the on hold bit at the beginning was fucking hilarious. And I know some people won't like it. I understand that. Speaking of things some people don't like, but I loved, Leia uses the Force twice in this movie. The second time to rip open a door to get to Poe, and then she stuns him with a phaser. But the first time, all I've ever wanted in a Star Wars film is for Leia to use the Force. That is all I've ever wanted. So you have to understand, going into this, I was so fucking biased to that. I did not know it was going to happen. And I watched it, and I've just rewatched it. Someone posted it on Twitter. I just rewatched it, and I was like, I don't care if you think it's cringeworthy. I don't care if you don't like it. That scene was fucking awesome. She flew across space. It was so cool. And then people are like, how can she survive in space? I'm like, they can lift rocks with their minds. Are you seriously asking these questions? It's Star Wars. If this happened in real life, Leia would have been like just. She wouldn't have really been anything, and they'd all have died literally in seconds, because there's no such thing as force fields, at least I don't know of. I'm not like into military grade hardware, but you get what I'm saying. If they managed to get to Crait, they'd all been trapped in that mine, because Rey would not have used the Force. Which speaks of, Rey got handed herself in. You've got to take it with a pinch of salt. You can't put reality into every thing. Did you see Snoke? Did you see Porgs? There were so many Porgs, man. So many Porgs. Let's talk about Rose. Rose the Sink Shipper. The Sink Shipper. I fucked that up so badly. The ship sinker, Rose. After this review, I have to dive to the bottom of the ocean to go and grab my ship, because she killed Finn and Poe dead. She killed it. No, I want her to die. No, I'm joking. She killed Finn and Poe. She killed that pairing, even though when Poe got blasted back, Finn did put a hand on his throat. But whatever, she killed it. And she kissed him. I liked Rose's story, but she wasn't, for me, as necessary as I think the movie tried to make her. I would much rather focus my time on Finn, Poe, and Rey. I liked her. I think the actress is brilliant, and I loved the little scene with her. I loved it. Do you know what I actually loved more than Rose? This is awful, but I thought her sister sacrificing herself was the best scene of that arc completely. I thought that was so good, where she was like, and she held on to that, and I just thought, like, there was nothing that Rose did throughout the movie that was impressive of what her sister did at the beginning of the movie. And I think that sort of set me up a little bit with her character to fail a little bit. But I still liked her. She was a likeable character. I saw someone put earlier, like, Jar Jar Rose. I'm like, no, Jar Jar Binks was the biggest mistake Star Wars ever made. When I was a kid, I found him hilarious. But she's not a mistake. She saved Finn's life, for the love of God. You know, Finn was about to get vaporized. And luckily he didn't, because if he had, I'd have cried. I was close to tears. I was close to tears a couple of times. But yeah, so I liked her character. Speaking of Finn had a very cool arc. Like I said, we could have done without the casino stuff. Benedict, you know, I can't say his name. I can never say his name. Benicio del Toro, or I can never say the first part of his name right. I'm sorry. I thought it was a pointless character. I thought that was a pointless arc. But it was still, I sound quite negative, but I really enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it, but there were just things that I just thought, like, well, we didn't need to see that. I had to go to the bathroom 2 times in this movie. I only like to go at least once. Usually 2 times in any movie, to be fair, because I've got a weak bladder. But that's not the point. Always get an ILC, kids. It was enjoyable and it was cool, but there were just a couple of issues with it that you know, it's not going to be going down as, for some people it will, but for me it won't be my greatest Star Wars movie. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. Although every second it's going down to a 7. It won't go any further, but it is going down to a 7 the more I think about the problems I've got with it. I didn't realise how many problems I had with it until I started this review. Shit. So, Really, but they're not problems. I'm joking. Like Rose was a good character, but for me, what her sister did at the beginning overshadowed her character because her sister was shown to be such a heroic figure. And while Rose did save Finn, I don't think there's anything quite like sacrificing yourself. You can beat that while you're alive. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is Kylo Ren. I was spoiled going into this movie, and it said, I saw a scene, and it was my own stupid fault. I was on Comic Man, and I clicked on a link I shouldn't have, and I was like, oh shit, and I had to get off quickly. But I saw two spoilers. One about a little green man that we will come to in a bit, because I almost screamed. But the first one, the second spoiler I saw, sorry, was about Rey and Ren teaming up to fight the Red leaders. Who I didn't know who they were at the time, but obviously they were Snoke's bodyguards. Luckily I didn't see anything about Snoke dying. But I was like, oh, I've ruined it. Kylo turns to the light side, and I was telling like my friends Bren and Anthony, like because they've seen it, and I was like, I've seen this about this, and they were like, yeah, no, can't believe you've seen almost the biggest twist in the movie. I'm like, no, obviously he doesn't at all. He goes on to become Supreme Leader. If anything, that spoiler enhanced my experience of that scene. It was so good. So yeah. That was such a cool moment as well, because, like, they're fighting together, it was, like, the most badass lightsaber scene ever, but before that, when Snoke's got Rey before he gets chopped in half, I'm sorry, but it's just so funny, it was so funny. He's doing this fucking, he was Sigourney Weaver in The Defenders. Oh my god, that's what Snoke was. Snoke was Sigourney Weaver when she's, like, going, I have dragged this and then she gets stabbed by Elektra. There's the same thing what happened to him. He's like, you will turn his lightsaber and you will kill it, and then it just slices straight through him. It was like, fucking sucks to be you. So that was so much fun. But the scene when they were like kicking ass and everything, to me, I love the lightsaber battles, but they still feel a little clunky. You know, that's the one thing I did like about the prequels. They had some fucking insane lightsaber battles. They really did. But these felt a little clunky. But I suppose it's because Kylo's not that great of a Sith with the, you know what I mean? Like, maybe the prequels just made it look a lot more fancy. I preferred the prequels lightsaber fights to anything, actually, to be fair. The closest, in fact, no, the best lightsaber thing I've ever seen, though, is that Darth Vader in Rogue One, which is still it's my favourite Star Wars movie, then Empire Strikes Back, then, yeah, that's right. Although those two flip between each other all the time. But Darth Vader in Rogue One is the best lightsaber. But it just felt a little clunky to me, but I did enjoy it still, and I thought it was much better than The Force Awakens. They'd obviously learned a lot. There's so much I could talk about, guys, and I'm going to. Let me talk about the scene I really want to talk about. I knew Yoda was in this movie. I'd seen it in Variety's review. I was pissed off, but I was like, fuck, right? I still almost screamed when that little guy came on screen. My favourite character in all of Star Wars. And I was like, ah! I think people like looked at me, I was like, nah! It was like, because everyone was like, ah! When you saw like his ears, I was like, oh! Even I was surprised, and I fucking knew he was going to be in it. So it was like, oh, and he was so good. Shout out to Yoda for being the only motherfucking MVP who can be dead and still cast a lightning bolt to burn a tree down. Like, seriously, this like old, most powerful Jedi ever, well, debatable I suppose, but I would say he is, was dead and could still affect the world of the living like that. Like, what a fucking badass. He could probably have gone and killed everyone himself, but he didn't, because he's Yoda and he knows better. And I love it when he's talking about the Jedi books, like, they were hardly page turners, were they? And he's like, he recognises that what the Jedi was wrong, you know, no love or attachments, when really, like, I think he's saying is that love is the greatest weapon that you can use against them. Yeah, so, yeah, but Luke Skywalker, like, I don't know. The ending, I liked how they redeemed him and everything, but it wasn't the fact that he turned into, like, this grumpy old man actor. It wasn't that. It was the fact that what he considered doing to Kylo before any of this happened, and I don't see that as something Luke Skywalker would have done, in my opinion. So yeah, okay, so what we're going to talk about now is my top 3 moments. Honourable mention goes to Laura Dern when she turned the Rebel cruiser to defend all the light cruisers heading to Crate, which FYI is a fucking hard level on Star Wars Battlefront 2, may I just add. But enough of that. Like, seriously, I cannot beat a galactic assault on that fucking mouth. I did it today, but I couldn't. It was so hard. Anyway, and then the screen just goes silent. Everything's just like vapor. It was so, you could have, I'll tell you what, you could have heard a fucking cow's fart in that room, because not a single person spoke. I don't know why you'd hear a cow's fart, but you get what I'm saying. Everyone was just silent. Like, holy fucking shit. Like, just everyone was vaporized. It was so cool. We didn't really know much about the character, but what I think we did learn was pretty cool, and she went out like a bamf. Whether I would have preferred if Leia had gone out like that, I don't know, because Leia's well and alive at the end of the film. They've already said she won't appear in episode 10, whether they're lying or not, which they probably are, to be fair. But I'm glad she didn't go out when she got ripped out the window. I saw, like, I know a few people wanted that to be her ending, but I don't think it would have done her enough justice. It was too early on in the film, and I think whether you like the Leia force pulled herself to the ship. It's pretty much all that happened. And I don't see a problem with that. Some people have a massive problem with it. But if you don't accept change, you know, don't watch Doctor Who, for Christ's sake. Don't watch Doctor Who, because you just will not get it. You'll be like, no, I don't want him to go. I'm turning this show off forever. And it's just, change is everything. And if you can't accept change, then you'll just be left behind. That's how life works. So you have to accept change, like it or not. Nothing can stay the same forever, no matter how much you want it to. I can understand why people don't like the flying Leia, but I think it's because I've wanted it for so long, Leia doing something like that, that for me, I can't not love it. I'm very biased to that, so I'm probably not a particularly good judge of character when it comes to that scene. I love seeing Frank Oz back as Yoda. I don't know whether he was doing the puppeteering, because it was definitely the puppet Yoda, which was cool. And when he bonked Luke on the head with the stick, that was funny as fuck. Let's talk about the ending. I haven't really spoken about Rey at all, and do you know what? I love Rey, I think she's ace, but for me, she didn't stand out in this movie, in a good way. Like, the people who stood out for me, like Rose, she stood out for me because she didn't do anything as, you know, heroic as her sister did, but she couldn't. They set me up with that character. For me, personally, I don't know if it affected you guys, but for me, that character was good. She was a good character. But they set me up for the fact that her sister, the thing her sister just did. And then it was like, nah, your sister literally sacrificed herself to destroy the Dreadnought. You're never going to be able to overshadow her in this movie. She has cast this massive shadow. I don't know who the actress who played her sister is, but my god, was her face emotive. She didn't have a single line, and her face was so emotive that you could read 1,000 words off it. It was brilliant. Anyway, enough of that. Rey. Her and Kylo was... I appreciate Adam Driver, but I have never seen Adam Driver like that with the shirt off. I didn't realise Adam Driver was built like that underneath. I'm going to write some fanfiction later. I'm joking. Maybe. Well, I may as well, because my ship's at the bottom of the fucking ocean. No, so Adam Driver and Daisy really had a great connection. I love the little talks between, like, connections through the universe, through the galaxy, sorry. They've got so much chemistry, but I still don't know, you know, people are like, are they related? And I'm like, no, I think what he said about Rey was true. She comes from nothing, you know, her parents weren't anything, but she definitely is something, and I think that's so good. I know people probably be disappointed, like, in you know, that point, because they were like, well, why isn't she anyone? Why can't she be someone? Maybe because we've done that. We've you know, we've had that I am your father situation. We've done that. Maybe Rey is just someone special who comes forward, like that little boy at the end where he grabs the light. He wasn't, you know, he's just a stable boy. You don't know who he is. Maybe his parents are super rich and they've left him. Maybe they were just poor and they couldn't afford to look after him. Either way, it doesn't matter. He's still going to be a hero, hopefully. So yeah, I kind of wish that people would understand that. But then I also respect their opinions that they, you know, they want to see something more what they know, you know, something like that. And unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. because everything changes, but alas. Rey was good in this movie. I really enjoyed her. I enjoyed her interactions with Luke and that bit in the mirror where she was like, and it was like, oh, that was cool, if not a bit creepy. And that's honestly when I thought we'd see Yoda, but no, that wasn't until later. Yeah, and it was cool. Poe Dameron. I love you, Poe Dameron, my sexy pilot. Can we just say the chemistry between him and Rey when he was introducing himself? He's introducing one main character who's meeting another main character for the first time in a second film at the very end of the second film. Okay, legit. But there was some chemistry there, guys. Seriously, my ship is being surrounded by sharks now at the bottom of the ocean. The pressure's ripped all its seals apart and it's just flooding in. It's just no saving it anymore. Alas. Yeah, it was interesting, it was fun to see. I think that watching the sort of characters interact is quite cool, and I hope to see more of it next time. But when Rey was looking over at Rose and Finn, I was thinking, ooh, are we getting a love triangle here? I'm not particularly one for love triangles, but if it ends with Finn saying to both girls, look, I'm not interested in running off with Poe, I'm all for it. Poe had a very interesting arc. He went a bit, I don't know what's the word, he took charge and he was trying to do something. Unfortunately, his plan failed, and Admiral Holdo was right. But the best bit for me was when they were trying to rip open the door, and it was obviously taking a long while to burn through the door, so obviously Leia just got up and like force pushed the door, ripped it across, and then she just shot him with a blaster. It was like Leia, and she was like shot him. That was pretty cool. So it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, guys. I really did. I won't talk for much longer. I'm trying to make sure I just got all the characters in. The ending with Luke, the bit where he was firing on all that felt like Luke to me when he walked out and he went, that bit was Luke. It was like it didn't touch him. But there was something nagging at me a little bit, and I was like, is this a continuity error? Because one, I don't quite know how Rey got off the Snoke ship, because it never showed you that bit, but I assume she just woke up before Kylo and escaped and contacted Chewie. I suppose you'd have to fill that plot hole in free. Well, it's not supposed to be a plot hole, but you get what I mean. But the other bit I didn't get was, he had the lightsaber that Kylo split apart. Something even then should have signified to Kylo, something's not right here. I'm going to get to my top 3 moments in a minute, guys. I actually will. I've just continued talking. Something's not right here. But honestly, I couldn't put my finger on what was wrong, and then it turned out it was a hologram. At first I thought when he went through Luke, I thought Luke was so strong with the Force, he did what one of the Jedi did in the KOTOR online multiplayer trailer, where like the guy one of the Sith slammed his lightsaber into it, she caught it with her hands, and it didn't go through, and she was like using the Force to block its energy. I thought that would have been so cool to see, but alas, no, it was a Force projection. I was going to say hologram then, because that's what I thought it was originally. I was like, is it a hologram? Is he on like the Millennium Falcon or something, or in like an X-wing? But no, it was a Force projection. Yeah, and I loved his little talk with R2-D2 as well. It was only short, it was only sweet, and it was really only the time we saw R2 in the whole thing. But I loved the little bit where he showed her Princess Leia, and he showed him Princess Leia, sorry, and that was such a sweet, and he was like, that's a cheap trick. And R2-D2 was like, you know it. Yeah, so that was nice. But I sat there when he disappeared at the end, I was like, you're fucking kidding me. You are. I was pissed. I was actually annoyed that they'd done that. But the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. This guy was force projecting from one planet across the system to another planet. Like through, I mean, they had to like go through light speed and everything to get there. That must be incredibly tolling. And I kind of get why he was like with the Force at the very end. It made sense to me. Now I think about it. That's one thing that I've gone the other way on. Like, some things I found annoying me more, but that one I've gone the other way on. Yeah, I understand it now. I get why he went, and I also like the bit where Rey and Kylo are communicating at the end, and then she just like shuts the door, and it's like, that's it, game on, motherfucker. This isn't going to end how you think it's going to end, to quote Luke. My top 3 moments then. Honourable mention, like I say, to Admiral Holdo, who went straight through them. straight through that Star Destroyer and all the other Star Destroyers, and pretty much fucking, yeah, it was fucking ace. And I think what's so cool about that scene, as I'm going to talk about it a little bit, is that you didn't see the ship, you just saw what happened, and like it vaporized loads of Star Destroyers, because I imagine, like, as you're traveling through hyperspace, you're split into like so many, you're moving so fast that your particles are everywhere, so it just like sort of split out all the particles, and it just like destroyed so many. I thought that was so fucking cool. So anyway, my top 3 moments, and this is a list that I have been thinking about for a long while. All 3 are interlinked by the fact that at least one character appears in 2 of them. No, 2 characters appear in 2 of them, yeah. So at number 3, my 3rd favourite moment was 100% Yoda and Luke. Just the whole sequence of Yoda blowing the tree up and then laughing about, like, the laugh from, like, episode 5 and 6. Like, it was crazy Yoda, and I love crazy Yoda. What I like about it is the fact that this is a Yoda who's aged so much that he doesn't give a shit anymore. He knows he fucked up, whereas when he was a Grandmaster, he had to be all stuffy and proper. Honestly, people were like, yay, the puppet's back. I loved CGI Yoda. I actually did, and I think it's because I grew up on CGI Yoda. You know, I grew up on the prequels. I liked the prequels. I did. Attack of the Clones was my favourite fucking thing. I used to pause Count Dooku and Yoda's fight and watch it in slow motion with the pause button. If you had a VHS, you know what the fuck I'm on about. And like moving frames. I used to love watching how the lightsabers collided and stuff. And Yoda was my favourite character, and those movies really made Yoda for me. It was obviously then that I watched the others. But yeah, I loved them, and now I look back and I'm like, Phantom Menace, but I still love Attack of the Clones is my guilty pleasure. I gotta be honest, I really gotta be honest. It really is, and I'm not even sorry. Like the bit at the end when they all fight in the stadium, the one thing that really gets me is when one Jedi's lightsaber turns from blue to yellow to blue again, like a switch of a scene. I'm like, oh, that's bad editing, but that was something I picked up when I was like 9 years old. I'm like, bad editing that. I'm like, I should know about bad editing if you've ever watched my videos. So yeah, I love the scene with Yoda though. It was so cool, and at first the puppet didn't look right, and then I was like, no, this looks perfect, it looks ace. And when I sat there just watching it burn, and he's like, failure is the greatest of teachers, and it's just like, fuck yeah, Yoda, fuck yeah, you're just the fucking man. So that was so cool to see, and I was so happy to have my favourite character back, even if it is just for this one and this one only. I expected at the end though, when Luke was going, I thought Anakin was going to appear. I was like in front of him, like, come home son, like, I was like, oh, Anakin, or like he'd just see his father. In fact, I didn't think it was going to come home son, because I didn't realise he was going anywhere. I thought he'd live to fight another day. But I'd love Luke to come back, I really would. I think that'd be cool. Anyway, my second favourite scene was the fucking... It made me, I was welling up, and do you know what, I think if I hadn't been surrounded by so many people, I'd probably have cried. Scene between Luke and Leia. My goodness me, what a scene. Like, seriously. And the very last thing he says to her, and I can't remember, I can't quote it quote for quote, because I'm going to have to watch it again, but it's something like, no one's ever really gone. And I bet filming that was emotional, but then for what happened to Carrie after it, it was so beautiful and so powerful and so emotional, and I loved it. And my favourite scene of this movie is one that so many people hate, but I am so biased towards Leia Organa that I cannot not love her when she uses the Force. I thought Leia was dead. I sat there in shock, and I'm looking at the people next to me, I'm like, are you fucking seeing this? They just killed Leia Organa. And then she moves her hand and she glides across. And people are calling it like the Superman fly and stuff. I'm like, no, you don't understand how long I've waited for this moment. Don't ruin it for me. I fucking loved it. I did. And I'm sorry, I'm not even sorry. Fuck you if you fucking hate it. No, I'm joking, don't fuck you. But I have waited so long to see that scene that no matter how it was filmed and no matter how it was done, I thought it was graceful, I thought it was beautiful, and I thought it did the character of Leia proud. Don't worry about how she survived in space. Worry about the fact that people can levitate fucking rocks and turn on lightsabers and cut people in half. You worry about that. Just, you know, worry about the giant light swords they carry around. Then let's talk about reality for a little bit, okay? People are not going to like everything, and some people won't be able to handle this movie because it's different and it's new. This, for me, excites me very much about Rian Johnson's upcoming movie. It really does. and I can't wait to see what happens next. It was a phenomenal movie. It wasn't the greatest thing I've ever seen. Rogue One and Empire Strikes Back are still my favourites. But this was a very, very good movie. It was no A Phantom Menace. It definitely wasn't Attack of the Clones, because that's brilliant. But seriously, ultimate character, Leia, without a doubt. And that is total bias, and I do not give a shit. Just because I feel like Carrie's death has left us with such an impact. I'd probably be a little bit more critical of the scene had she still been alive, but I just always wanted to see Leia use the Force, so honestly, I probably wouldn't have been, to be fair. I really wouldn't have been. We don't know what training Luke gave her over the years, so yeah. What did you guys think of Star Wars The Last Jedi? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Tell me why. Tell me why I'm wrong. Yell at me. You usually do. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Like I say, this is just my opinion, and everyone should respect everyone else's opinions, and the world would be a much better place. Unfortunately, that's not how it is. So your opinion sucks. Mine's the best. Bye. I'm joking. May the Force be with you.